All right, I think we're live. Looks like voice is working. That's good. Exciting. Happy to be here. Lots to talk about. Yes. Blinding screen. Maybe we'll look at TradingView first. How did we wrap up for the day? And pretty mixed. I mean, early on in the day, there was only a couple of reds here. I've got some sins to confess to this week too. Thankfully, nobody's here to hear that yet. But yeah, we got some good stuff to talk about anyway. I am back to some high noons for the call. Might as well enjoy myself. It's been a rough couple of days. Not for market reasons, although I guess the market hasn't been amazing. But today was pretty good, honestly. And the week was mixed on a lot of things. I've got SoFi open now. It is one that I'm keeping an eye on. I should probably set an alert for it. Like, what am I ultimately, where do I want to get back in? I've been doing this thing lately where I draw a long rectangle from just a prior sideways channel and see how that lines up with wherever we're currently at. And it's been interesting. Sometimes it's dead on, and sometimes it's not so much. But that's okay. Not so much this in this case with SoFi. More interesting would be probably some of the EMAs and where things are at for all that fun stuff. So we will bring those up. Actually, I don't usually keep them up anymore. I use a lot of other things. That's a little scary. The hundreds crossing over the 200 SMA, SoFi. We're in this really tight channel right now, though. We'll see how that goes. Hey, Foregunner, what's going on, man? How are you doing today? Did you have a good week? Hopefully you had a good week. I had it feels like a stellar week, even though it would be mediocre in the past. But yeah, I mean, I walked away from this week feeling pretty happy with the results. Yeah, where you going? Anywhere good? I'm a little jelly. I wouldn't mind some vacay right now. Yeah, doing very well. Doing very well. We got a new puppy, which maybe I'll bring him on stream. Maybe we'll bring him out later. Fort Lauderdale. I don't know where you're at right now, but I'm assuming it's colder than whatever Fort Lauderdale is. I got a good buddy who lives in Naples, and he was telling me it's already 80 degrees there, and he's always bragging. Well, okay, new puppy, awesome, but also not. The amount of dog stuff I've had to clean up in the last 3 days has been ungodly. And I have a 1 year old, still puppy, who has fully regressed in 2 days. And like this dog that has been well behaved and well trained for a long time pooped on the couch. I mean, like, had to jump on the couch to do that. I'm just like, what is happening here? So yeah, we got it. We're good on the puppy's expected, right? So like, oh, that's fine. It's the other one where I'm like, well, time to break out the shampooer again. Haven't had that thing out in a while, so that's annoying. But we'll get there, like everything. And he's awesome. He's a. I wonder if maybe I have a picture I could bring up. How can I bring up a picture of him? I'm not sure. Yeah, it could be attention. It could be a lot of things, but it's annoying. It's definitely annoying right now, and very painful to work through the process again. In a couple of weeks, we'll have forgotten all about it. Everything will be fine, and yeah, go back to life. But this is it's a Yorkie mixed with a mini Aussie, and he's just the cutest thing ever. Yeah, I don't. Oh, you know what? I posted a picture on Discord, I think, right? So yeah, it's an off topic. You could check it there if you want to see it. But he's a cute little guy. But man, I would not mind some time in Fort Lauderdale right now. That sounds great. But I suppose we should talk. Yeah. He's hypoallergenic. My other one is a Aussie Doodle, so I'm allergic to dogs, cats, really anything that has dander. And for the last, prior to this year, 15 years of my life, I had two dogs and two cats for 12 of the years, and then they've kind of slowly died off. So I told my wife, I like, look, if we're going to do another dog, the answer is no, unless it's not going to kill me every day. And it's been magical. And I like animals, but I couldn't pet the old ones because it would drive me nuts. Key West from Fort Lauderdale is a pretty long drive, isn't it? Is Fort Lauderdale north of Miami? I feel like Key West was a 4-hour drive from Miami. But awesome. Also awesome. So worth going to if you've got the time. I was only there once. And we drove there we were supposed to fly there, but we got hit with a snowstorm in Long Island and we canceled all the flights. My dad's like, get in the car. And he drove 21 hours straight, bathroom breaks only. He never stopped. That was wild. Everybody was exhausted by the time I got there. But it was fun. It was a fun trip. And we got to visit the most southernmost point in the U.S. Key West has that, right? Or is that Texas? I think Key West has one. Like one of those monument things for it. So that was cool. Definitely more expensive than I would have guessed. We looked at going there for our honeymoon. And it ended up being cheaper to spend 9 days at an all-inclusive in Mexico than 4 days in Key West at like a mediocre hotel. 4 hours each way. Nice. Very nice. Well, good. You enjoy that. I hope you have a good trip. Most definitely, I'm sure it'll be fun. And I'm assuming you're going to get to the beach. Well, you have to. If you're going to Key West, you can't not, like, it's beach. You have to be on the beach. And again, I don't know why else you would go to Fort Lauderdale unless you're going to the beach. I can't remember how close that is to Daytona. I did that all on the same trip originally. It was a good trip. All right, let's talk some stock stuff. Okay, I thought it was cool. So Galaxy had an interesting week all over the place. I had some good sells and buybacks on this a couple of times now since somewhere around here. And yeah, this has been a moneymaker despite being well below cost basis. It's been rough for the NLV number, but it continues to pay. And this is one of those stocks that sorry for blinding you. I still one day I've got to get a dark mode set up here. Can I change the table color maybe? Is that worth doing on stream? Probably not, but maybe very quickly. Table formatting. Come on, there's got to be a dark mode style here, right? No? No? Oh, you know what? What if we do gray and then more gray? Does that help? But the colors are terrible. Huh. Wait, we're going to make this work. Hold on a second. Do dark gray and darker gray. There we go. And then we're just going to make everything white text. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. That's good enough for now. It does kind of mess with... Okay, we don't want these white text. That's got to be black. Same with this one. Oops. Did that wrong. And there we go. Okay, that'll work. That'll work for now. Maybe, actually, you know what? Maybe I'm just going to keep this. This seems fine. Cool. And oh, you know what? I can just okay. I'll fix all this later. Now I'm like, oh look, I can just do all this stuff right now and disrupt everything. We'll just clean it up. This is fine. So yeah, it was a good week, and Galaxy was probably it's been one of my favorite plays because I've been selling options in June for this, and I opened these on March 4th for $2,100. I keep getting asked the same question in the Discord too, which is like, why are you locking yourself in for so long? And the answer is, well, I'm probably not, especially in this market. And if I am, that means the stock has gone up significantly. So the fact that I can sell a 40C in June on a $22 stock, which it was 21, right? Well, okay. When I sold it, it was actually probably like 23 or 24. We can look. It was somewhere over here. March 4th was the high was 24.60, right? We had that run up. So selling it for $1.10 on 24.50 is pretty good. It's 4.5% return, and that's really like a 10% return, 9% return, which doesn't sound stellar, but it's worth mentioning that if it were to get called away, it is actually above my cost basis, and it's unlikely that that's going to happen anyway, based on what's been going on in the market. So I'm happy with either scenario. Either my NOV recovers and through the cost basis recovering here, or recovering towards the cost basis. And if I'm locked out, that's cool. I'm happy. I could roll it too. I don't think I would though. I think I would just be like, yeah, sure. I'll just hang on and eventually take a 9% return plus whatever the cost basis improvement is. I think it's like another $2 or something like that. I think the cost basis is around 38 maybe. So yeah, 310 would be 4.5, which is times 3 would be like 13.5%. So 26% return on the trade is good. And I've done this trade multiple times. In fact, I wonder, where's the little calculator here? How many times have I sold Galaxy here? Yeah, I'm going on $10,000 of premium for Galaxy on very far out stuff. So to be able to buy to close it for, I don't think it was quite 50%. Yeah, it was a little less than 50%, 45% profit. That pays. That is well worth it. All right, I don't know why it does min every time. We'll do the sum. So $900 out of 2180 in 2 weeks. The only way you can do that is with some very close to the money low delta stuff or high delta stuff. And I didn't want to do that. So, because again, I'm below cost basis. So I've been very happy with this. It's been a pretty good play. I've been doing a few things like Archer, just collecting some pennies here and there. Same with Bull. Archer brought in $250. Bull brought in, I think, $500. Where's the? Oh no, did I not put it in? Oh, good thing Alec isn't here. He'd be ripping me a new one for totally forgetting to put Bull in here. Oh no, that means I have to buy more FXAIX. Whoops! This was 12,500 shares at $6, and we sold that for 0.05. That's already closed out, and that was a CC. Yeah, it was $500. So we closed out the week at $4,700, which is the best week I've had in a while, honestly. I mean, well, I guess I had this week here that was pretty decent at 8,300, but something else went into that. Did I sell something else important there? What was that? Was that 2 weeks ago? I think I just had some long... Yeah, I just had some long expiration stuff finally come through. NBiz and a few others. Let's see if I can find it. It would have been this set here. Yeah. So this was fine. Yeah, I had some long-standing CoreWeave, some far-dated Reddit, and all this. So Okay, maybe not as good as a few weeks ago, but I was happy with it. I was happy with it. I was also happy with it because going into this week, I only had, I think, one live trade. So the Oscar trade here was May. The Reddit was this week. ONS was June. Microsoft was next week. Reddit was this week. Galaxy was June. Archer was this week. I'll talk about this one in a minute. Reddit was this week. GME was June. No, next week. This one was, I have a June one, but this is next week. And Bull was this week. So, not bad. Hey, Crazy Jay, what's going on, man? It was very busy. I feel like I was posting more trades than anybody else, which wasn't intentional. But, like, again, there were a lot of opportunities to buy to close far dated options on both sides. So, Microsoft is one I wanted to talk about. Let's just talk Microsoft for a minute here. So, Microsoft, I sold CSPs last week, and we were down here somewhere. We were in the 390s. I think I sold it when we were on this day here, when we hit 400. And I was like, I should have sold it sooner. But I sold a 390p for 320, which is out here, right? So I'll draw, what is it, Alt-T? Yeah, I'll draw a line here. Oh, that's off by a day. There we go. So we had another week until that expired, but look what happened. And it became, to me, it was a shift in momentum. You might have saw the comment of it felt like uncertainty was returning. So it's a cash position as a CSP. And I was like, why am I going to potentially go back into it? I'm going to buy to close it for, I think it was 40% profit. It wasn't bad. It was, what was it? It was about 40%, close enough. And, I'm glad I got out of it because I sold it when it was at 404, 405 yesterday. And we had a big drop today. So I could be staring at it all week next week. And basically this trend feels like we're going to see 390 come back into fruition, which is, if I move this line down a little bit, maybe I should have just done this through settings, but we're getting there slowly. This is 390 right here, right? We're not far away from there. And I think there's a good chance we do a double bottom. And rather than sell CSPs, I'm going to have patience here. And once we get back down to this point, if we do, I will most definitely sell CSPs on Microsoft again. I was pretty happy with the return, honestly. It was not bad for a week of holding it. And, it feels good to be back in cash, especially with everything that's going on. So I think the point is, I realized I wasn't in a rush to get out of a cash position. And if you can walk away with profit and maintain a cash position, why not do it? So that's what I did. Originally, I had a buy to close at 50%, never hit. I thought it would have hit here, but it just, I guess there was too much theta left way back here. And I came close on Tuesday. So I think, I must have closed it on Wednesday when we had a spike up to like this 407, 408. And I just got out of it. So very happy with how that one turned out. But I still like Microsoft, and I will probably get back into it, considering, like, if you look at where we're at, minus all my drawings, my pictorials, there's a chance we close the baby gap. I don't think it's going to happen, but I will wait to see if we bounce off of this bottom of the uranium band or not, and most likely have a double bottom here. That's what I would guess. So yeah, that was a good trade. I was pretty happy with that. We had some other ones. What else did we do? So Oscar, did I talk about Oscar? No, I don't think so. Let's look at Oscar. Let's hide some of this crap. Oscar finished green today, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, as did most of healthcare, which was good to see. Lilly is another one I'm keeping an eye on, by the way, but we can talk about that later. Oscar had a very big run up the other day, and we're on the daily. We were able to sell some really nice CCs here at 20, and then we bought the close. And you know what? If we continue to do this little dance of higher highs and higher lows, guess what I'll do again? I will most definitely give this one a few days and hopefully resell for May or June. And if we do that, we'll look to buy to close them again. It's not to say anything is guaranteed to happen, of course, but these are the things that I'm becoming more and more convinced that the watch list is great to have. Obviously, everybody has a watch list. I'm much more focused on really just repeating this process on a very finite number of stocks. And the fewer stocks that you have, the better you can kind of feel them out and not predict really, but just have an inkling of what may or may not happen based on history, based on watching the price throughout the day. There was definitely a time with Reddit where, every day, early in the day, it would pump and then it would sell off. Especially, I feel like it was back here somewhere where we had big pumps and then I was just buying to close with these giant bars. And you could just resell the same option every day. And even if you got assigned, it literally didn't matter because you would just get called away and vice versa. And this was like a pure premium zone. Like this was juice right here. We juiced the hell out of Reddit during this time period. And I feel like we're kind of doing that again. The price is lower right now. Sucks, right? Whatever. But I'm a long-term believer in it. I'm bullish on it long-term. So yeah, I figured when I saw this drop coming in that we were going to double bottom. And I went from selling 150, 160 calls here down to 145 and feeling pretty safe about it for the most part and just continuing to BTC STO, BTC STO. Hey, Superman. What's going on, my friend? I didn't see you too much this week. Did you have a good week? Were you selling any options this week? I hope so. Because that's kind of what we do. Well, I mean, investing and... we had I don't know if I can talk about this. And of course, this is going to get recorded for all time. But I'm sure nobody will ever watch it in the future. So probably safe enough to say it here. I feel, we had a call with somebody who was interested in working with us being the coaches at Theta Daddy. They had ideas of things that they could provide to enhance our business position, which wasn't, I think anytime you have an opportunity like that, you should hear what somebody has to say, especially when you have some rapport with them, right? And so we talked to the person and their team, and it was interesting, sort of. But, they kept saying, like, you guys only sell options. And Average Advisor's funny. He is like, no, we don't just sell options. What do you mean we just sell options? We invest. We have stock picks, right? We have stocks we invest in. And it was just funny hearing the exchange of, yeah, obviously we sell options, but what happens before you can sell an option? You have to own shares on something. That's what the whole fundamental analysis side of thing is, right? If you don't do some fundamental analysis, what are you doing? You're just gambling. Even if you're selling options, you're just gambling if you don't check into these companies you're looking at. So, with that, and I know I'm already on a tangent here. That doesn't take very long for that to happen. You'll notice, or maybe you probably won't notice, but my watch list is shrinking. And the reason it's shrinking is I've started to pare it down. I've started to get a little bit more discerning on what I allow on it. And one of the things that I've decided I want to start narrowing down to is I generally want to stick to investing in companies that make money, meaning they have positive EPS or EPS at all, right? Like there are some companies that don't even report EPS yet because it's so negative and they're growth only, investment only type stuff. And that's just, I'm realizing that's so speculative that it's very hard to consistently sell options on those type of positions because you just don't know there's so many things that can go wrong and affect the price to the upside or the downside that feels disconnected, but you don't know why it's disconnected because there's no numbers to compare to. Like Reddit's a great example of Reddit makes money, and Reddit beats their earnings every time. Look at this. Look at this. Now, they didn't always make money, and the transition to making money was what made me extra bullish on them. And I'm very happy that I own them in particular now because I believe and see that they're continuing to make money. So I do have things that don't make money. You'll see ASTS and Rocket Lab and some other things, right? And it made me realize just how many things that are on my watch list that don't make money. And it's been very important to start pulling away from that for me. So I think that's an important thing to figure out. And that is something we're going to have on the web app here in the hopefully in the not too distant future. If I can, where did I put it? When making trades, we're talking about adding a checklist of things to look for of like, hey, does this company make money? Before you sell this option, does this company have upcoming earnings or other catalysts that you need to worry about, right? Things like that to ultimately set us up for success and things that we want in our investments. Didn't I get a puppy? Yeah, dude, it's been terrible. I was telling Foregunner about it. It's not been terrible about the puppy. What's been terrible is the fact that my old dog, old being 1 year old, is regressing dramatically. And the amount of cleanup that we've had to do in the last 3 days is absurd and upsetting, frankly. So, yeah, it's been a rough... these drinks are going to be well-deserved, I think, today. Although I don't plan on having too many of them. Yeah, definitely need to unwind a little bit. But I'm glad to be here so I could talk about stuff, including the puppy, but also not the puppy. All right. Let's see. What were we talking about? We're all over the place already. So we talked about Oscar. I've been talking about Reddit. You know, Reddit, I arguably made, I don't want to say a mistake, because I don't think mistake's the right word, but maybe jumped the gun a little bit too soon here. Watched it run up. And rather than roll, I bought to close it and with a plan to resell it. And then I ended up, it ended up dropping later that day. What day was that? That must have been, let's see. I think, it must have been Thursday. Thursday or Tuesday? Oh, it was Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday, where we opened very high. I think a lot of things opened high, gapped up on Tuesday, filled the gap and just kept going down. And I bought the close somewhere up here. And then there was really no opportunity to resell it. And I feel like I should have known better on that one, that there was no reason we were going to continue to fly up. And if we did, I could have rolled. But, you never know. Ended up making lemons out of lemonade with that. And if I grouped these all together with some of the other Reddit ones, here they are. We didn't actually, whoops, I put it right in the middle. I don't want to do that. Let's put it here. Is that right? There we go. 1,300 was what we could have net. We ended up netting a little bit better than half of that, 700. But could have been better, could have been worse. And that's going to happen, right? I think of my plays for the week, that was probably the worst one. But we did make up some Reddit money on the taxable side, much smaller position. And also I play that one much lower delta to avoid potential assignment as much as possible. So yeah. Am I out of bull? No, I made $500 on bull. I have too much bull in general, and here's the crazy thing: I'm actually debating buying more. I haven't yet. At $5, what's another 2,500 shares at $5? Yeah, maybe that's a bit too much. But I was thinking about rounding out my share count to 15K. I'm at 12.5. I know it's a sad story to watch, but it continues to pay despite this god-awful trend. And the question is, like, how long does the trend go down, especially when, earnings look kind of bad, obviously, but a 45% miss when the numbers are this close by an absolute value is not as meaningful to me when I look at them. Obviously, you want to meet and exceed, But I like their plan. And if anything, Bull might be a buying opportunity. I don't think it becomes a penny stock. I think it's probably bottomed out. I think I would have said that here too, by the way, at $8. And when we had the double bottom, like, oh yeah, no, this is as low as it goes. I think I bought more here. I may have to eat a habanero if we don't get to $18 in a month. I don't know if that's happening. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Do I think it's going to go to zero? No. I think it'll be fine. I think it's also been tied with Bitcoin quite a bit. Although it's not getting the benefit of Bitcoin recently, as Bitcoin starts to make a recovery here, right? Now that we're back over 70K, possibly cupping, possibly making a cup and handle. Oh, that'd be cool. So, I'm just giving that time. And the fact is, $500 sounds like a good number. It's really not. Basically, that's 5 cents a contract. So I lowered my cost basis by 5 cents, but from the beginning of the week, we're down 50 cents, right? What is this, Monday, Thursday, Friday, Monday? So yeah, we went from, no, we're flat, actually. Let's look at the weekly candle. Okay, no, we are down slightly for the week. So yeah, definitely not a good looking chart. There's no hiding it. And for the record, I'm never trying to convince anyone to follow this, but I still like the stock. It's crazy. There are other stocks that have done this where I'm like, oh, no, I'm out totally. Hims was one, actually. I got out of Hims, and that's going to make it sound like I'm terrible at picking stocks when you see what Hims did. But the fact is, I decided I don't want to be in healthcare right now with everything that's going on in the administration that's currently in charge. Do I think Hims will be fine long term? Yeah, probably. But if I'm going to play healthcare, it's not, again, Hims isn't even on my watch list anymore. It's going to be Lilly, right? I'm gonna play the stocks that I know and love that also make stuff, which is a core belief of mine, is a stock that makes stuff. Or a company, I should say. Stocks don't make anything except for money, hopefully. So yeah, that's kind of where my focus is shifted there. I will probably get out of Oscar here at some point for similar reasons, that it's just not like a core position. But Oscar has been paying well for me with options. And, this mega channel has been good just from a pure premium standpoint. If it continued to drop below here, which frankly this line should be down here somewhere, but this is the April tariff mania, so maybe not exactly there. This is a big channel. Will we go back up? I kind of think so. Their earnings were not good by any stretch. But if I can keep making money on premiums on it, I'll probably keep it until something changes. Now, if we break down below this, I might take a hit and exit. But until that happens, if I keep getting paid off of it, my cost basis on this has got to be probably close to 15 or 16 now from when I got in at, what was it, 18 maybe? Maybe it was 20? I don't know. But I'm able to sell options at 20 and make money on it. You could make that argument for Hims, but the big thing was the fundamental change that I saw in them that caused this big old gap down. I wish I could click on like the news from that day. That would be cool. Historical news. Maybe there's a way to do that, and I just don't know how to do it. But I'm happy for anyone that stayed in, and especially anyone who bought Hims down here. Geez, or Leaps. You got paid if you did that. But Hims is just... It feels different to me than what it was when we were playing with it around here. So yeah, I got out of Hims, but I am still in bull. Crazy, right? That's how it goes sometimes. Can't win them all, and I don't try to. I just try to get premium on all of them. The drama. There's a lot of drama everywhere. Another one that I'm keeping an eye on is SoFi. A lot of people are feeling burned on SoFi. Thankfully, I wasn't in SoFi, nor was I in Hood, which is doing something similar, right? Look at that. Look how similar Hood is if I take out all this drawing work. Look at Hood and look at SoFi. Does that chart look familiar? It does to me. And the question is, which one will I go back to playing with eventually when the time feels right? And frankly, both of them are. It looks like Hood already has made the turn to maybe bullish. What is the weekly showing for them? I don't think they got blue stars yet. No. But yeah, there's a chance that we flip to bullish here on the weekly in a week or two. And if we do, I'll be back in on those as well. But I'm trying some new stuff this year with the run up. I think I definitely got a little burned on my positions where I could have been setting some stop losses, but you can't set stop losses if you're covered, number one. And number two, when do you decide to do that? And if you're going to set a stop loss, maybe that's the sign that you should just sell, right? So those are some things that I'm going to be doing differently on the eventual next run up, whether that's this next week, next month, next year. When we eventually continue back up, I'll be doing some things there with backstopping myself a little bit for at least maybe partial positions. And also probably stepping out of some of the leverage positions. While the leverage positions are great going up, obviously they suck going down. So we'll have to make some adjustments there. Another one that I've been just kind of keeping an eye on is Netflix. They went super bullish after the whole Paramount deal, but I'm wondering if they'll be able to maintain it. I got a feeling they may gap fill. I haven't drawn that in yet, but that seems like a possibility. So yeah, just some random market thoughts for you. And then back to here, ONS was another big one to close out and resell. So we walked away with $600 in profit on this one. Where's ONS at? We finished red on ONS, right? Yeah, we did. And ONS is a wild ride for sure. This is $15. I used to have some drawings here. Let me put this back. $15 is what I want to show here. And this was my original covered call that I recently got out of. I can take this out. It's interesting. My lines match up pretty well with the center of the uranium bands. So good to see things are working as intended. So here I decided, you know what? How do I really want to wait until June to possibly cash out on a couple $1,000, which if I didn't buy to close, we'd walk away with $2,600, and instead we closed it just for $600, which doesn't sound very good, I know, but we now have covered calls at, let's put this in, $12, which is here, close to the top of the uranium band, and they close out on the 27th. So this is great because if this hits, my cost basis is 10 original, not original cost basis, but my repurchase shares 10. Man, I wish I kept those $1.85 shares, huh? And so if I sell at 12 by the end of the week after next, 2 weeks from now, which is after earnings, by the way, so I got better IV there, I walk away with $2 per share and some pretty solid premium, 55 cents, I think, on the ones that I resold. Yeah, 55 cents, so another $1,000. So realistically, $2.55 a share on $10, 25% possible payout here instead of waiting till June for that same payout. Just about. And if I if I don't get called away, then I'm just going to keep reselling way closer to the money, and eventually it'll far outpace what I would have got had I waited till the end of June. Especially since I did reclaim some of that profit now. It was not as good as what I would have liked to have done with the 50% and 50% type mentality on time, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Saw that and didn't do it with Galaxy. Wait, buying to close it? Yeah, well, but Galaxy is another one I bought to close. Do you have the same June ones, or what are you looking at? I had June 18th for Galaxy as well, and those are the ones that I closed on yesterday or the day before. It wasn't 313. It was like 312. Something like that. Maybe it was 311. It doesn't matter. Good band. I listened to them growing up. Yeah, I mean, walking away with 45% profit in a week and a half, not even 7 days. Okay, I guess that's a week and a half, whatever, from business days. That was amazing. That's like, this is the dream. And as I mentioned a bit early in the stream, I'm going to keep doing this with Galaxy. So we're waiting right now. Are we going to continue the pump with Galaxy? I hope so. We had a real nice 8% day. If Bitcoin can get above 72, 73, well, what is the level? I think AA was talking about this earlier. 73, 74, or no, it was Bob Duck, right? If we can break this 73, 74 range and turn this short-term resistance into support, that's going to be huge for Galaxy. Galaxy will flip even higher here, obviously. So that's what I think a lot of people are waiting for. Are we truly out of it or not? We don't know, obviously, but things are looking pretty bullish here. We had our first EMA crossover in quite some time. The 8 EMA crossed over the 21 and working on the 34. And we're almost above the 50. We did go above the 50-day simple moving average for a little while today. Went as high as 73.5, 70, almost 74. Wow, look at that. Did we touch 74? We got to 73.933. Very close. If we can flip that to support, yeah, I mean, we're in good shape, is what I would say. And frankly, with Strategy buying a ton, I think that long term does help Bitcoin. God, that's a company I haven't looked at in a while. What's Strategy doing? Nothing. They're still working on their way to going to zero. I think it's inevitable they're going to zero. I hate treasuries, if you can't tell. I will never buy a treasury again. Not worth it. Doesn't make any sense. Although Master or Strategy does look kind of bullish on the daily and got their first blue stars on the weekly. Still not touching them. I think Bitcoin's got the same effect though, right? So on the daily they are 1, 2, 3 stars. And the weekly's got to be close to a blue star any second now. Yeah, it's gonna be soon. So just stick with IBIT if you're gonna do that. That's what I'm doing anyway. If you want Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin or equivalent. Don't buy a treasury that doesn't know what they're doing and has no interest in you as a shareholder. Robin looking good, huh? Maybe I should consider Robin again. All right. So what else did we do? We had a couple of others that were pretty good. Talked through ONS. We already talked through Microsoft. I'll probably resell that next week. Maybe. I might. No. I'm going to wait on that one. We already talked Reddit. We already talked Galaxy. Archer was just literally same deal as Bull right now, collecting some pennies here and there. I mean, look, $250. Why not? I'm not going anywhere. I'm hanging with it, so I might as well take $250. And I just didn't believe that during this time frame, Archer had any shot at blowing up like to $7, which is what I sold was $7, 7 C's. Yeah, I mean, we could have. Oh, this is the weekly. We could have, but they're on the struggle bus. So while they're on the struggle bus, might as well get something for their troubles, right? Although, I mean, if they do spike, they can spike quite largely. Although this is across a month that they did this, right? What was this? This is not a good example. Maybe here is better, where we're looking at July the 8th or the 7th, and that took us into July 17th, so a couple weeks. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a risk of mega spikes, but I'm not super concerned at quite this level for a mega spike. I don't think we're even getting back to the top of this channel, if ever. And thankfully, my cost basis is nowhere near that. It's much closer to the $9, $10 range, something like that. Zeta. Do you call it Zeta or Zeta? I wonder. Oh, we got some drawings on Zeta. Okay, so this one was cool. Well, not cool if you're a Zeta holder, I suppose. They had a good cup and handle with the breakout, And the back test, I thought for sure it was going to back test off of here and continue up. And instead, way broke down back to middle, if not bottom half of the cup. So we can more or less delete all these lines now because they're no longer really meaningful. Although I suppose this one is. We can keep that one. Well, whatever. We can keep these. These are fine. And I think we're range bound for a little bit here looking at it. A good thing to note is we've got extreme convergence of all of the EMAs and SMAs on the daily. And, this tends to be a pop-off point as I see them. We really need to get back above the 50 SMA. We did break out of the uranium here for just a moment, but we couldn't maintain it for whatever reason. This is probably just heavily influenced by the macroeconomics. And what does Zeta even do? They are automation, right? They're not AI though. Oh, marketing. That's right. Okay, so they're like a TTD, right? All good, Superman. Well, hey, there's I don't know when you get into it. By the way, the app, there's a AI chat summary that you'll be able to look at and see what people were talking about. So if it's hard to keep up, this is I think helpful. Just a good summary of hey, what's going on. Look at this checklist. I didn't even see this. Very cool. Is that on every single one? No. Interesting. Huh. I need to look into that some more. I didn't even know that was a thing. Does it help? Should I zoom in? Maybe I should zoom in. Yeah, so you can get a little take on how things are going for member chat, or if you want, you can check the elite channel. That's fine. Whatever you want. I like to keep it on member chat just because that has the most action. Although it's got plenty of memes. There's a lot of oh, interesting. Huh. I need to read this more often. There's some good stuff in here. The thing is, I'm usually reading damn near every message anyway. Key topics. Oh, that's cool. Look at this. Look at this. Wow. Dude, Salty is amazing, don't you think? Salty Meat's got his stuff in order here. Very well done. And they talked about Galaxy. We're bullish. We're bullish on Galaxy, along with all these others. Okay, that actually brings something up. NVIDIA. I have been meaning to look at NVIDIA for the last week, and I keep getting distracted. And I'm going to get distracted again real quick. No. Okay, no. We're going to look at NVIDIA first. NVIDIA is getting very interesting because the 200 SMA has caught up to all the others. Look at how sideways we've been. This is insane. Look at that channel that we've been trading in for the better part of what? If we go back to August, I think is safe to go back to even July. Crazy. What does it mean? Does it mean that a company can't get bigger than $5 trillion? I wonder. I doubt it. We had a channel back here too. But I would imagine this doesn't get resolved until a few other things get resolved around AI concerns. There's a lot. I look at NVIDIA and I personally can't see myself putting anything into it at this point. I'm more bullish on some stocks of the Mag 7 that have corrected, like Microsoft. Maybe they haven't corrected, but Meta, which has just been kind of, well, God, there's so many drawings on this stuff, which has dropped a bit. Okay, maybe you can call this a little bit of a correction, but on like the macro, when you start looking on the weekly, if anything, it's the same deal. We're just in like a sideways channel. So another one that I'm not really interested in touching here, let's go back to Microsoft. Microsoft does look at like a correction. And then the other one I wanted to look at was Google, which is stuck at this 300 level and has been for, again, months. And I feel like a lot of them, a lot of the Mag 7 are just overextended here. I mean, it was clear that it was a good purchase down here for Google because compared to the rest of the Mag 7, they were clearly undervalued. But at this point, I don't know. I'm just kind of staying away from them. How about Apple? I haven't looked at Apple in a while. Apple just does the same thing forever, apparently. And you have to look at Apple on the log because, yeah, I mean, they're charged just so forever. Wild, wild. Up and to the right for Apple. But with Tim Cook, I don't know. Is it going to continue? It's hard to say. All right, let's go back to normal. Tesla, I know a lot of people. Obviously, it's in the Mag 7. Well, is it? Yeah, it's in the Mag 7. I don't really consider it part of the same bucket personally because of the just the wildness that it brings compared to anything else. But it's also at the top of its possible valuation cycle here, right? So I worry about that. I worry about Amazon a little bit. Although of all the things, Amazon feels like the biggest producer of productive things in the world, tangible. Another one I've been wanting to look at is Walmart. I might be going a little fast here. Oh, all right. No, I'm not touching Walmart. But, you know, Walmart feels like another one where we might see continued booming here for quite some time with the ongoing economic concerns. Who's going to really be a place that people go to and still spend money? Guaranteed it's Walmart, 100%, right? So it's a consideration, although I just haven't been touching it recently, not after the run that it's been on. But I mean, their earnings are just insane. They continue to be beating, and I think they had a soft forecast or uncertainty in their forecast, but still very bullish overall. Target, huh? Let me look. Well, let me catch up on what you guys have been saying. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm glad you're reading that. Cool. Dude, the web app should be launched Monday? Sunday. Oh, shoot. That came quick. I love Salty. I hope he knows that. And I doubt he's listening. And it doesn't matter if he is. I was really looking forward to releasing it on Monday. I get why it was pushed out to Sunday, but it hurt my soul a little bit. I just, you're so excited to see it get released into the wild, and I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody tear it apart in a good way. Target, okay, Target, man. When I look at Target, all I think is maybe I should have kept those leaps after all, huh? I had what was it, 90C I had on Target. Let me see. It was kind of a good hedge. Bob called it a hedge, and I think he was right. Oh, it was 85C. Oh my goodness! And I sold it at like 90 something. Easy. I mean, I walked away with $1,500. It was fine, but what would that be now? So 1460. Well, 1180 when I bought it, and it was this was at the money or slightly in the money. So, gosh, that would be 85. Well, 117 minus 85, right? Plus, just call it plus 10. Wait, we can look up the exact option. Why don't we do that? It was 85C for... Oh, it was short. March 2026. It still would have paid. It was March 20th. What is that at? More on options. Show me the money. We want... Oh, this is it. This is the one we want. 85C. $32. Oh, yeah, because Theta. So we're nowhere near. I thought they were longer dated. But man. Oh, man. Oh, man. That was a 300% return. Oh, God, why did we look at this? Awful. I feel terrible. I hate leaps. Why are they so hard? Yeah, it worked out well. So we sold here, by the way, or somewhere over here, and I felt really good after that, as you can imagine. And now I'm like, oh, dang. Oh, you're good, man. I don't care. It's first off, I didn't lose money, so number one, that's fine. And number two, it's water under the bridge. You make the best decision that you can with the information that you've got. You don't know the future. If Target did the opposite instead of going up from here and went like this, how would I feel with those leaps? Not so good. Not so good, right? So yeah, no, yeah, it's all good. Also, it could be a learning experience. I don't know what there is to learn from this other than, Target clearly bottoms around this level. And, if we take out, what was this? Yeah, this is the April time frame, so we can ignore that. Like that is clearly a bottom of the bucket valuation that if we're here, yeah, that could be a good place to look. I don't know. It may still be a good purchase even right now. It's very bullish on the weekly. It's got all weekly greens or blue stars, cyan. The 2 week, what's the 2 week got going? Blue. I mean, that's bullish as heck. How about the monthly? Oh, the monthly just got it. Wow. I could have looked up here, by the way. I do like looking at the 2 week though. I've been using that a little bit more frequently. Can I move this? No. That's unfortunate. Maybe I can. Top. Settings. Whoa. Table position. Bottom? Oh, that's better. Oh, that's so much better. It just doesn't get interfered with from this stuff. Okay, cool. Good. That's fine. That'll work. So yeah, I think this is it's looking pretty bullish right now, for sure. And in fact, it's worth looking at on the monthly. How long is a run? And typically, when it has a monthly run, it's a year. It's the better portion of a year going up. So this is an example of like, hey, is it too late? The answer is generally no, right? What are we, 3 months into a run? Arguably 4 if you want to start back here. Well, what does 4 months look like back here? You still had upside. What about 4 months here? If you took this star, which for some reason isn't highlighting, 1, 2, 3, 4, man, you would have done quite well, right? This could be a good experiment, actually. Maybe I'll take a small position in Target. All right, Target, fine. You get to get added back to the watch list because you make money. You got positive EPS. I hope. Let's double check that. Yes, we're very positive. Perfect. Okay, we got potential here. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about. Yeah, it's not Walmart, but it has the value opportunity that Walmart doesn't because Walmart is priced. Well, okay, let's check that. Price to earnings is 14 for Target. What is it for Walmart? 45. I mean, I wouldn't think Target can get to 45, but what if they got to 30? That's a lot of upside. It's a lot of upside. I think we're cooking here. Let's see what the web app says. What do you guys think? Let's do some where we going? Research. TGT. What? No results? Get out of here. There we go. Okay. Let's hope I don't brick it in front of everybody. What is the IV? That's worth looking at. Let's hide this a little bit. Get some more space on the screen. IV is pretty low. That's why I liked it for leaps, by the way, because the IV was pretty low. So let's do some AI insights on TGT. We'll get there eventually. Okay. Target Corp shows mixed signals with price above short-term EMAs but below key 50-period averages, while fundamentals reveal concerning high leverage. Interesting. Neutral momentum with RSI at 53 and MACD approaching bullish crossover, but the stock faces strong resistance at 117, which is basically where it's at. Which is, well, is that true? Hold on a second. I want to double check this. We're looking on different time frames. I'm on the monthly. So, okay. So when we look on the daily, that could be true. And that is true because the uranium band is exactly at 119. So maybe arguable if it's at 117 or 119. I don't see. I would argue that more likely this is where the next resistance is. 135. Ooh. That's exciting. So let's see what we got. Blah blah blah. I'm actually more interested in the risks. But financial recovery evident, that's really nice. Profit improvement, very nice. And upside barriers for breakout attempts, that's fine. We expect to backtest. That's going to happen on any stock. So, extremely high debt equity ratio. Really? Okay. And rate increases, which is arguably not a major risk right now, I don't think. That could turn. I know there's a possibility that we may see some rate changes, but I don't think it's going up. I think it's just not going to cut any further, if anything. Revenue declining. This, I think, had to do with poor management more than anything. And then, which is something they've been addressing. That may not be entirely true. I might be making stuff up. We gotta check into that some more. And then current price is at 80% of the 52-week range with that overhead resistance. Okay. You know what? Maybe that means that we wait for some potential back tests of some of the EMAs, which we are doing this week even. In fact, we tested the 21, and maybe the 34 will get tested, maybe the 50, because we've been on a pretty strong uptrend here for a little while. So this is where I think it pays to have patience, and that's why we have a watch list. But overall, very exciting looking on the monthly chart with some nice blue stars lining up. Look at that. Boom. Very exciting. I will most definitely keep an eye on it at this point. Still, this is like lower highs, lower lows, lower high, low. I mean, yeah, there's some other macro trends that mildly concerning. But yeah, let's keep an eye on it, okay? We'll see what happens. I might buy some Target. What do we have left here? We talked about dang near everything, I think. DGXX. Okay, so this one I didn't signal, and I'm glad I didn't, because I didn't signal it. This was one of these, like, some of the other people in the server purchased some of this stock, and it was at 284 that I got in with 1,000 shares. So literally less than $3,000 on this thing. I mean, we're talking like 0.3% portfolio allocation or less. 0.03? I don't know, whatever. And we dropped. I was like, I'm very glad I didn't signal that to anyone. We got as low as $2 basically. And then we had a nice bullish reversal for a little while here. And I thought about getting out both these days and missed my opportunity. And today I was like, you know what? This is just not a core holding. It's a penny stock. I'm not entirely even sure why I got in, which means I have to get out. And EPS is negative. They don't make money. Maybe they'll make money in the future. Well, I put a limit sell in for $3. It sold at 3015 or 3005 or whatever. And I got out for $120 of profit. Woo! And then this happened. I mean, this is the meme, right? Of the guy that says dump it. with the big face full of Botox or whatever's going on with that guy. I don't know what's going on with that guy's face. And oh my goodness, they diluted. Well, what happened was they've got they raised money with shares and whatnot. So it's a form of dilution. I didn't read the details. It's probably bullish long term, but the fact is I don't know enough about the company. I was able to get out for a profit, so I did. I'm glad I did. And this might be my luckiest play to date. The timing of getting out before that dilution bomb drop. You know, like Joby went through this recently where they just diluted and dropped mega from 15x. Well, 14, 13, but they were up at 15. And now they're $9. They're a $9 stock. And, you know, this might be a good place to get in now that we've gotten past the shockwaves of, oh man, we diluted. But, I hate it. This is one of the reasons that I believe if you make a killing on a stock that is, call it less than $10 billion market cap, take some profit. Because they're going to dilute the shit out of you at some point. And you're going to be upset when they do. My dog is barking. I hope you can't hear that. You probably can hear that. Sorry. So, like, yeah, when you have this run up, man, get out. Like, if I had DGXX here, this is where you're like, stop losses. Stop losses all day. Don't cover, just stop loss. Give it some time to see if it's settling or if it's just going to drop and get out of it. Hey, Daily Psych, good to see you, dude. Joby's range bound. It is. We'll go back to it. I agree with you. 100% agree with you. Clear, right? Very clear. And the bottom of the gap. Okay, here's my bet. I'm not making a habanero bet because I already have to eat one next week. And next week? In 2 weeks. So unless bull goes to 18, which could happen. Very unlikely. What could happen? This is what's going to happen, though. We're going to eventually make our way back up, and we are guaranteed, I will bet money, going to back test off of it. So don't be afraid to cover here. Now, this changes only if, especially before earnings, this only changes if there is a big catalyst here. But I don't think there is any on that short of a timeline horizon. They're aerospace, okay? These drone companies are aerospace. And I've heard people talk about them on the Discord and other places after hour. Look, I lived in aerospace for many years. Everything is slow. You can say how fast you're going to do things. It doesn't matter. There's only one time I've seen things go fast in aerospace, and I was in the seat when this happened as the key business stakeholder for my business. And Rolls-Royce, well, we had a fire in one of our facilities, not mine. Rolls-Royce basically forced approvals through by way of the most senior guys in the company that were like, basically walked into the office of the people that made these approvals and sat there and pushed everything off their desks and said, no, you do this. Nothing else matters, because they weren't going to sell engines, by the way. That was the impact. And Rolls-Royce, the aerospace company, not the car company. There's screaming going on in my house. So there's very unlikely that a company like Joby can move big FAA regulation types things and approvals if companies like Boeing and Rolls-Royce struggle. It took a very particular set of circumstance for it to all come to pass. And yeah, I just don't believe it. So the whole point is, I think you have time to continue to do what you're doing, which is covering anywhere below the bottom of the gap. And you can get aggressive, like $11, unless it falls on Friday. And even if it does, who cares? because I would guarantee, as close as I can do to guaranteeing something in the future happening without eating a habanero, that is highly likely to be a bounce play. Highly likely. When we run up, I don't know. Will we run up at all? Maybe not. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of headwinds in general. And you can see like volume was petering out over here for sure. And yeah, I'm just not sure we're back into the green yet. Now we do have the daily stars on the daily, the blue stars on the daily. We're not there on the weekly yet. And I think it's going to be a little while before we get any on the weekly. But totally fine to sell covered calls here. Same thing with Archer. Same deal. Definitely. Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at the weekly uranium band for Archer. I've never seen that. That's crazy. Wow. Cool. What is this alert? Oh, this is, yeah. Okay. Buy more or something like that. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Joby. Anyway, all right. Do we have anything else to talk about? I think we covered everything that I wanted to cover today. Outside. Oh, we bought the closed GME. I guess I should mention that real quick. We had 25Cs expiring next week. I haven't looked at the GME chart in a couple of days here. We were looking pretty spicy here. Dude, look at this wedge. How is this possible? Do you ever look at something like this and go like, why is this a thing? And outside of this is we're on the weekly chart. This was over the course of like 3 days, 2 days on the daily. So, I think it's okay. I know you have to be careful about talking yourself into shapes and patterns that may not exist. But I genuinely think because of the over the weekend type of situation that this was, it's not really, it's an outlier essentially. And if you just take the top points of everything else, it's incredible how we're following this to what might be this ultimate mega squeeze. Now we're on the weekly chart and look at the EMAs. Let me turn off the uranium band here for a second. Look at this. We are wrapped tight. The 200 to the 50 and everything in between is within a buck of each other, or about a buck of each other. That's wild. Also, golden crosses going on with the 100 over the 200 on the weekly. And man, we're at some point, what are we going to do? We got earnings coming up in not too distant future. Again, I feel like we just had earnings actually. And yeah, what could possibly happen here except the mother of all squeezes on this mega bull pennant that we've got going here? It's crazy. It's actually crazy that this is holding up since May of 2024. My goodness. I know a lot of people are sick of GME for a good reason. That's fair. I understand it. But I've come to really, and you've heard me talk about it 100 times now, but I've come to appreciate not just the company and what they're doing and the new leadership, but like the stock itself. I kind of enjoy it. I feel like it's surprisingly predictable. And this drawing has been here since last year, sometime summer last year. We've been drawing this out, and it's held, which means you can keep using this to make money potentially, and we have been. So I plan to continue to use it until it breaks out in one direction or the other, and I don't know what direction it's going to break out into. I personally do think that we are going to see a breakout to the upside because of the amount of effort that the CEO, Ryan Cohen's put into things, along with, I do think we're going to end up, maybe not this high, but I do think we'll break above 30. And when will it happen? I don't know. Will it happen? I think this is going to expire. Oh, wait a second. Oh, no, this isn't the one I bought back. Sorry. I bought back a different option. This is another option I've got. I do think it'll be after June that this happens. Could be sooner, though. I mean, really, when wedges happen like this, it doesn't mean you have to get to the point of intersection. Like, that doesn't have to be a thing. But if it were, where would that be? And we're looking at September, which is far, far away. But until that point, on green days we sell CCs. On red days we buy them back. That's it. That's the strategy. Simpler is better when it comes to GME. Follow your heart. Good advice, right? All right. Anything that anyone of you wants to go over, let me know. I think otherwise that's everything that I did. We already talked about Bull. And we've got NBIZ rolled out. Oh, you know what? Let's talk real quick. I did mean to talk about this. We have two things going on for next week with quote unquote guaranteed 2,500 plus 5,000 lined up in premium and shares. And that's for NBIZ and CoreWeave. All my data centers. All of them? Most of them. I got NBIL and CoreWeave X too, by the way. So NBIZ. Now, what's the chance that we stay above? We've broken out of this double top. Let's go back to the daily where it's a little bit more clear. And yeah, that feels great. And I had 95 Cs that I rolled out to 100 that I rolled out to 105. This is one that I know a lot of people had questions about. Why? How roll? How roll? Why roll? Well, NBIZ, here we go. Let's zoom in a little bit. So if you're actually looking, you can see what I'm looking at. Oh, we can go big. We can go 200. All right, my dog. Stop barking, dude, please. So yeah, we had $1,000 we could have made. We rolled it out, and then we were able to make 1,500. So a decent roll, not the best, not the worst. And then it gapped up. And when it was at about 104, let's go back to the chart real quick. Yeah, we were below 105 here for a moment. When we were about 104, I was able to roll this to 105 and buy to close. I rolled it out a week, buy to close for $11, 11.18, and sell to open for 9.68. Now, that's a negative. That's a debit, right? Which I generally don't like to do, minus 15.20. But we had banked up already 15.70. So when you sum all of it, you net it out, we're walking away with $50. $50 on 1,000 shares. But in doing that, if we expire in the money at over 105, we walk away with, instead of, had I done nothing, $1,500, we now walk away with $50 plus $5,000. Arguably more, actually, because it started at 95, arguably $10,000. But you get the idea, right? Like, this is the power of rolling, where if we just consider going from 100 to 105, we're able to manage $5,000 or $5 a share. That otherwise, how would you get that? So, real simply, would you rather make $1,500 or $5,000? Obviously the answer is pretty clear. I guess the truth is we're making an additional $3,500 if we're not trying to be sensationalist. But the math is clear that for one more week to make another basically 3.5% on the position seems very worthwhile. And I'm very happy with how this one played out. And I'm fine with letting it go. It's totally fine. I've got behind this, I've got a bunch of NBIL, 3,000 shares of NBIL that if it keeps going up, it's in my benefit. And if it doesn't, guess what I'm doing? I'm selling CSPs at 105. So I'm happy either way. We're in this weird channel here that just works out really nicely, where in this range, yeah, I mean 105, this is my target point. I should have a line here, by the way. Let's do purple. And this is 105C. Wait, no, not the interval. Perfect. So yeah, it looks scary that we're above it, but is it scary? That's not the right word. It's profitable, and I'm happy to take that profit. I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, it'll be nice, and it'll let me CSP in back at 105. I'm not convinced we're holding this. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll keep going up, and if we do, guess who's going to benefit? Probably the guy with 3,000 shares of NBIL with a cost basis of 12. It's lower than 12.21 now. It's 12, if not, maybe even slightly lower than that. I bought some more. I know, a little degen, but couldn't help myself. And then on the other side, we had CoreWeave. CoreWeave has another similar story of I got ADCs on it, and which was sold, I think, back here. That is ADC. You know what? Did I fix the level? I don't think so on NBIS. I might need to go back and do that. So we're above ADC right now. And this is one where I'm like, you know what? I don't care. If it gets called away at ADC, that's fine. Let it go. I'm also of the opinion that, I don't know if I believe you, because CoreWeave is so touchy right now with their debt and their high debt and concerns around that I think there's a good chance that we recheck by the end of next week. And in that case, I just walk away with $2,500. So if not, maybe next week I roll if there's a good argument, but $2,500 seems fine too. I did cover this. Man, I do wish I waited a day before I covered it, by the way. It would have been nice if I said, oh, yeah, $80. Oh, yeah, $90. that would have been great. But it's fine, honestly. I got also 1,000 shares CoreWeave X, which the cost basis is, I think, way up here. No. It's like 32. It's way down here now. Let me fix that. I got to double check the exacts, but it's not 38 anymore. Well, let me put it back to where it was, and I'll get the exacts. So yeah, it's to me it's fine, and I do have 40 C's on CoreWeave X, because why not? And this goes out to June 18th. Is it June 18th? Yeah. Apparently that's a holiday of some sort. I don't know what holiday that is. It's 40. It's 40.54. By the way, which is absurd, but it's some reverse split stuff that went on there. Yeah, good stuff. You sold iron? Yeah, I will definitely. I want to. I agree with the general thought process of exiting out of too many leverage positions, and the leverage positions I like right now, because they protect me in my CCing of the stocks as they recover. But once we recover, I plan to get out of them, because at that point, I'd rather just own straight shares. And then should we drop again like this, then I think it's a fine time to buy some 2Xs, right? The 2Xs become very affordable very quickly when they drop. So Reddit RDTL was at 60 and now it's at 15. That is gross. But that's what you gotta balance. When do you get in? And I don't recommend buying those high. I obviously I did in that case. I was doing little swing trades, and then they just had their absurd drop, that the nonsense drop, as I call it, with the cry shopping here. So make sure that you're picking your spot well. I think you should look at them like leaps. And when would you buy a leap? Do you buy leaps up here? No, obviously not. That doesn't make any sense. So why did I? Well, the answer was I was just swing trading, and I didn't think that we were going to do this. But that's a good lesson to learn. Am I sweating it? Not really, because again, long term for Reddit, my horizon's 5 years, and we're only in year 2 of it. So plenty of time for this to recover and whatever. It is what it is. I have not covered RDTL though. I should actually look at that next week. I would like to cover it at some point. This is I don't think this is accurate anymore either. I think it's down at like 42, 40, something like this. So, I'll adjust that at some point. I would guess and cover it in that same range. Ideally, after we have some rippage going on here. But yeah, I feel great. I like this past week. I feel like we bottomed on a lot of things. May not have. We may have further to go, but it brought back a lot of just general confidence in the strategy that we do. It's felt nice to continue to collect premiums, and my share count hasn't shrunk. Right? If anything, it's gone up. And guess what? I'm buying a whole lot of this FXAIX. And I think I bought it at a real nice price today compared to where we've been up here. So I'm just DCAing into, and this is this is SPY, right? This is just a mutual fund of SPY. So you can see it's the same chart. This is a good way to kind of mitigate the growth risk that I have by putting premium into this type of stuff. So what is IRE? Is that the 2X for iron? Oh, look at you. Yeah, I mean, they experienced the same thing that everybody did, really. That's kind of that's just the best way to phrase it, I think. Never used Reddit before a year ago. Really? I've used it since, 2005? Maybe? Yeah, probably around then. The whole dig.com thing, which you probably wouldn't know about. Gold dropped a good amount today, huh? And silver. God, these are things that I'm never gonna touch. I get it. I get why people mess with them. It's not for me. I don't care about commodities like that. Oil, man. I had some friends who bought oil here on the daily. Let's look. It dropped down to 76 or whatever. They bought a bunch at 80. I got to text him, actually. What's he doing? I think there's an argument to hold oil for a little bit longer here. What is the oil? What is the oil? It's not USAR, is it? What am I thinking? No, that's rare earth. Oil futures. What do you guys trade with oil? X, like it's something with an X, right? Oh, US. Hey, DT sneaking in. Thank you. Man, yeah, some deals were made for sure. Definitely some money being made here if you're playing it smart and quick. I'll tell you what, if I bought here, I would have already sold today, 100%. No need to be greedy. VIX though, man, we had this hopium earlier in the week, and we're all over the place. Oh, SVIX is what I need to keep an eye on, which I have up here. But do I? Where is it? I don't have it. I thought I did. Yeah, if we drop back down to the 12 range, which I have an alert for, I am loading up on SVIX. Yeah, B&O is another. That's right. That's actually the one I was thinking of. I thought there was a B in it. Holy cow, dude. Oh my goodness. Oh, I was zoomed out too far. Still though, like same chart. Look at that blue star. I don't know. These are the charts that like blue stars don't mean the same to me. Same with VIX. Like blue stars on VIX. How do you use that to trade effect? I don't know. It seems so random. But if VIX spikes some more, SVIX is the play. Is this the point to get in? I don't think so. I feel like we're in the middle of a band here. Like if we were to draw just a couple of lines, and this is April, right? Yeah. Let's make that yellow. And just top end of that here. Yeah, we're kind of still in the middle third. I would prefer we dropped a bit more. I don't think we'll drop to this $10 range. I don't think it's going to be quite tariff mania. but we could see a little bit. Maybe my alert should be at 13.50, around that, or $14. I might take a position at 14, small position, and then if it drops further, buy more at 12, and if it drops further, more at 10. And eventually, that's what happens, right? So, yeah, interesting stuff here. This is the short VIX, is what SVIX is. Haven't messed with any oil. I've never touched oil. To me, it's like just any other commodity. I don't mess with them. If it drops further, there's other. Yeah, exactly. I had someone randomly message me on Discord, not from the server, an old friend that actually was the guy who told me about option selling many years ago. I'm like, I don't know. And here I am. And he's like, dude, I've sold all stocks. The world is ending. It doesn't make sense anymore. Get out while you can. And I'm like, okay, I hear you. But if that's happening, don't we have bigger problems? Like, that's the collapse of the entire currency of not. Think of how many things are tied to the US dollar. The world is like over if that happens. We need to move to Nicaragua if that happens, DT, okay? And I'm moving in with you. I hope you've already built your house. I hope you got space for 5 kids, 2 dogs, and a hamster that I call a gerbil. So there's a constant belief that has to exist if you're an investor, and that is that the world isn't going to end. If it is, well, it doesn't matter what you do. Even stuffing money under a mattress isn't going to necessarily help, because what's the dollar worth? Theta Daddy Island. Heck yeah. International stock. So when you say international stock, are you talking an index fund? Are you talking like China stocks like Baidu or Baba? I know Bob Dog's a big fan, by the way. Ooh, look at that. That might actually be a good spot for Baidu. I don't remember what Baidu does. It looks like a pet company. Search and online marketing solutions. Then why has it got a paw print? That seems silly. Is it because, oh man, I'm not going to make the joke. Do you know what the joke I was going to make? Probably. Okay, index funds I like. I do like that. That makes sense to me. That is interesting to me as well. What index funds are you looking at? Oh, I'm getting texted. Hold on a second. Sorry, I normally don't text, but I got to text somebody about car arrangements for my children. Okay, cool. IBKR, about to open it. What is IBKR at right now? Huh. I mean, I guess they're kind of like the hood chart, right? No, they're better than the hood chart. They look way better than hood. Why are they so much better than hood? What is going on here? They're an international stock too, isn't they? Isn't they? Aren't they? How much did I drink? One high noon. No, I know you're opening the port, dude. Oh, you're going to open with them. Oh, you're not with them. Okay. Cool. That's a cool idea. Can you instead do Webull so that my Bull stock goes up? That'd be nice. I just maybe put all your money in it and tell your friends. Yeah, there's some Vanguard funds that. Here's the thing. There's an argument that exists for the bogleheads out there where U.S. companies are already generally globalized. So like Google, Microsoft, maybe less true for Amazon. Well, the web services. But, a lot of these big companies, Tesla to some degree, Apple obviously, they're already very much internationally exposed. So, what tilt do you gain by looking at an international index fund versus US? And do I have technically I do Daily Sight. I have I think $1 in an account. They gave me, I signed up years ago and they gave me a free stock that was worth $1.50 or something. I think that might still exist somewhere. Hey, maybe I'm rich and don't even know it. Maybe I'm like Fry from Futurama when he comes back and realizes he's worth $3 trillion from regular, really low 3% interest for 1,000 years. But what were we talking about? So the international tilt, is it worth having an international tilt beyond what you get through the biggest companies in the world? Now, I think, yeah, there can definitely be an argument for that, depending on your outlook. But to me, there's like a lot of effort involved in that I'm not sure I want to bother with. And the fact is, there's so many ways to diversify internationally. Like you could diversify by buying index funds, or you could buy Melly and have South American Amazon, right? Holy cat! Oh my goodness, look at them. That's been a wild couple of months here, wild year, I'd say. So, like, where do you focus? It used to be called emerging markets back in the early 2000s, and they had emerging market, South America, LATAM, they would call it, or Southeast Asia. Nowadays, I don't feel it's the same diversification that it once was. And there was a time where those emerging markets way outpaced what the U.S. was doing. Is that true? Maybe it wasn't that long of a time frame. Maybe it was just a couple of years. But there was definitely times where like that made sense. So I think, there's nothing wrong with it. I want to be clear. I think it's a good idea, at least to look into it. But you do have to take into consideration what your tilt is. And also, even if it does have international exposure, those companies being US based could have more implications to how they financially function in the future based on administrative changes, U.S. administration versus international. Some of them, though, have you'll find like there are definitely a lot of companies that pick like Ireland as a headquarter location for the tax advantage purposes, things like that. So I'll be interested in what you end up picking. Hey, Chill, what's going on, man? You have Melly? Awesome. Yeah, okay, and that's cool, DT. I get it. Like I said, nothing wrong with it at all. I think it's just it's important to make sure you're looking at it objectively for what your holdings are. So what does the tilt really do versus whatever, right? Whatever else. So that's cool. Yep, world markets definitely going to be affected. There's a reversion to the mean, right? That happens. That money flows not just in within the U.S. market, but internationally, globally. VEA. Okay, I don't even know. Chill. I have no idea what any of these are. Full disclosure. Oh, Vanguard funds. Cool. Developed markets. Okay. Let's see. I don't want seasonals. More about the fund. Europe. Oh, it has it here. ASML. Samsung. Okay, so here, a good example. I like this. We've got Samsung. We've got the US dollar. That's kind of interesting. We've got whatever this is, South Korea maybe? SK Hynix. Roche Holding. I've heard of them before. HSBC. So yeah, this is an interesting mix. AstraZeneca, Nestle. So you are getting a bit of everything with this one, for sure. I don't. Glancing at this, I don't understand it. Rolls-Royce, yeah. I'd have to look into this one quite a bit more. But it's like Fortune 500 global is my guess. What else we got? You said IEMG. Are you just putting letters together, dude? iShares Core MSCI Emerging Markets. Okay. 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 And highly based in Asia, Taiwan. Oh, you got TSM, Team Solo Mid. All right. You're doubling up on your Samsung though. Actually, there's a lot of overlap here. That's interesting. What else? What else did you say? Avidiv. A lot of corrections going on everywhere, by the way. Avantis International Small Cap. Okay, we don't need to look into the holdings on that. That's cool, though. I like the idea of that. That is kind of neat. I've never even thought about international small cap in my life. Invesco S&P International Developed Momentum ETF. That's a mouthful. Highly Europe-based. Okay. Some North America, too. Again, this is going to give you a lot of overlap with other things that we've talked about. And then, what was the last one you said? EIS. Okay. And then we had VGK, another Vanguard European. Okay. And what was the last one? Flalala. Franklin, Latin America. Okay, cool. That's gotta, I bet Melly is like the number one holding here, right? It's gotta be. What? No? Walmart, Mexico. Come on, man. This is Walmart. That's hilarious. And it's by weighting, and I don't see Melly here at all, actually. That's surprising. I'm sure it's got to be. Oh, I can't control F. That's too bad. Fascinating. All right. 11% of TSMC. Not bad, not bad. But look at the top 10 of VXUS. Top 10. TSM. Yeah. USD, ASML. We've talked about ASML lately. Samsung, Tencent, Alibaba. Okay. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Nestle, slave labor. Okay, fine. Be that way. You do you. I'm kidding. But I do think they employ slave labor. Please don't shoot me, Nestle. I'm of sound mind and body and do not plan on self-harm. There's also an argument that in developing markets and countries, when they make progress, they actually leapfrog. Your example is fine. I don't know what that means in the broader sense, though. Considering, what does it mean to leapfrog what? Like, there's no way they're going to leapfrog the U.S. And I'm not saying that from like a nationalistic view or anything. I don't think. I suppose I could be wrong. But it's a question of resource concentration. Like, could Europe collectively surpass the U.S.? Yeah, for sure. Could Southeast Asia collectively? Yeah, also for sure. But like developing nations don't have the infrastructure, and I don't mean infrastructure like roadways and stuff or even the fiber optic networks or anything like that. I really mean like the systemic educational systems to take a large portion of the population and have this like newfound cohort that takes over the world. I could be wrong. But that's just like the first thought that pops up when I read that. But I love this discussion, by the way. This is, maybe more than anything, this is probably the type of stuff we should be considering is our, and again, I'm a Boglehead at heart. I say this all the time. And the Bogleheads have a wide range of philosophy on diversification. And a lot of people in the Boglehead community argue what I was saying earlier of S&P 500 versus having the emerging market tilt. Now, the pure Bogleheads will tell you that, yes, you should have the tilt. You should take those things into your diversification. You should have bonds. You should have international bonds, right? There's a lot of things. Like if you were building a company or factory for the first time, you're going to use it. Yeah, okay. I agree with that. There's less retrofitting, right, in those cases for sure. But I'm not sure that gives them a competitive edge necessarily on the scale of like the Mag 7. You know what I mean? That may give them a competitive edge on a one-to-one company versus company consideration. I'm looking at my watch list here to think about what that could be a consideration. So, like, they're not going to leapfrog data centers. NVIDIA is already selling their latest gen tech to whoever they're selling it to. So there could be things like they could leapfrog maybe like car companies is an interesting one. I think we're seeing that with China a little bit with like EV companies versus Tesla being the only one in the US. Tesla being one that is leapfrogging other traditional car manufacturing companies because of exactly what you're saying. But I'm not sure I buy into emerging markets have an edge with that. But it comes back to what, not for any reason other than what I was saying before, of systemically, I'm not sure they can support the breadth, the size needed of, again, the cohort being the number of people that you would need to stand up companies that would ultimately overtake, one of these household names. And there's certain technologies that I think are more or less figured out, like logistics. You can't just displace logistics. Also, logistics are generally localized, so there's not like a huge benefit there. Maybe this disrupts globalization. I used to have a theory called localized globalization, and that was like, hey, you got a company, it's a global company, but you're not necessarily trying to force your U.S. thoughts and maybe values you are, but not necessarily like U.S. Approach and technology on the local sites, but instead let them exist in their individual cultures to be more effective than the U.S. trying to force their culture on. Like, that doesn't work. U.S. can't force their culture on Japan, as a really simple example, and a place that I've been and seen and worked with a company that was like this. So like there could be localized opportunities, but how big can the opportunity be? Now, what if, maybe you're right though, maybe the type of technology that could be interrupted is something like a PayPal, right? that could be a thing. There's really no boundaries that say that an international company can't do PayPal better than PayPal did PayPal. There's a lot of there's interest. I'm interested in the thought. This, I guess, where I'm going with this ultimately. I'm not sure I fully buy into it, but I do think it makes sense to diversify with these thoughts in mind. So I appreciate you bringing that up because it's a fun thought process to think about. Are we considering everything in our approach to investing? And, depending on your time horizon, that could be something you want to do. Please buy PayPal and give life to your leaps. Okay, I need to ask the question. What are your leaps? And I'm sorry that it's going to be painful. That you're going to end up telling me like ADC or something like that, aren't you? I hope not, but I'm sorry if I'm just twisting the knife. What are we looking at here? What's the damage? I'll give you some life though. 7. Oh, damn it, Superman. Okay, so I'm assuming you bought these out of the money, or was it a while ago? It can't be that long ago. I'm assuming maybe you were looking at it in the December, January timeframe? When were you looking at them originally? So 70C, let's draw a line. You're going to hate me for doing it, but I'm going to do it. this is to try to help. Okay, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to help you. All right, we're gonna say and when do they expire? December. Okay. Okay, so we're not too far off. We'll just do mid-December. That's fine. Might have been good. You might have had some, like, the result might not be good, obviously, but the thought process could have been good at the time, right? We were at this like triple bottom thing going on here. So I don't hate it, honestly, when you got in. And there were some bull theses floating around on Reddit, I know for one. We did have the obvious gap, but there's some good news with the gap. And that is we immediately filled half of it. So we're in the gap. That means that we're not going to retest off the bottom of this, which otherwise would have resulted in a just instead of going up this. And that would have felt brutal for sure. We have a blue star on the daily across the board. Well, not in Silverflow, which is unfortunate. But we will look at this on the monthly. And while we don't have any blue stars right now, or the weekly, I should say, we don't have any blue stars yet. We've got to be getting close. So we might have some momentum here. Now, will they? Are they expiring in December? Okay. So it'd be somewhere around here. Look, they're not worth much right now, I would guess. However, there's really nothing saying we couldn't get back to here. Here's actually the biggest thing I think you're gonna have to consider. So let's say we bounce off the top. You know what? Let's do this. We're gonna go back to the daily. Zoom out a little bit, and we're gonna use the little draw tool here. Where's the draw tool? What the heck? Is it this one? Cross dot arrow. No. It's got to be this one. I've lost the draw tool. How embarrassing. Here it is. So let's say we bounce off, we test, and maybe we bounce off again, and we finally break through on some good news because they've replaced the CEO. Look at how much time you have. Here's the scenario that I would worry about though, is we essentially cup. And if I zoom out, I wonder if there's a bigger cup that I'm not considering. Let's look on the weekly. I don't think there is. This was a cup for sure. Didn't work out. But we could cup here, and if we do, I'm not sure. Your 70C is interesting. I'm not sure we get past 70. So a decision you'll need to make in the future, beyond do you just take the loss now or in the future and move on, is what happens if we get back to 70? What's your exit plan? I do think you need to consider rethinking what your original exit plan would have been, because you probably were hoping we got to 70 by now versus the result we had with this last earnings. And make a clear path to, if we touch 70, are you out? And maybe that's 70, maybe we touch 75. I don't know. It's hard to say. I feel like it's more likely we touch 65, which was a prior support. These are the things you're going to have to debate. There's this range going on here. And somewhere in here, I imagine we get back to. I find it unlikely we go back to the all-time low weekly close. And I would think we instead make our way back up eventually in the course of a year to this range. Now, that might be hopium. We could continue to drop down. I don't want to say that can't happen. But in this case, what's your exit plan? Yeah. Okay. So it's $50, right? Now at this point, I think you just treat it as a lotto ticket. Hope for the best, and if you can get back to break even, I would call that a win, honestly. Right? Like, what else are you going to do? It's not going to go to zero anytime soon. You got time for that. So you're probably at the lowest value it's going to be for the foreseeable future. Cool. Well, that was great. I really enjoyed all of those conversations. Any other thoughts or questions from you all tonight? If not, I'm going to finish this high noon and play Slay the Spire 2, which, yes, I'm a big nerd, and that's what I do. That's an early access game that came out on Steam recently, and I'm loving it. Having a ton of fun with that. That's my guilty pleasure. You guys don't know this, but I have another channel, and I post videos of me playing video games. Break even is a big win. Only 20% loss, you'll be happy. Heck yeah, man. Sometimes a smaller loss is a big win. Cool. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. If you don't mind, hit the heart button. I don't know if it does anything, but I know that's what everybody asks you to do. So I'm going to ask too, because, what else? What I don't know. What else am I going to do? I hope you have a good weekend. I really appreciated talking with everybody. Thanks for stopping by, DT. You are amazing as always. I'm looking forward to your summary. You had to have had a good week too. I had a good week. You had to have had a good week. So looking forward to seeing that. And I'll see you all on Monday. Until then, be safe. Love you.